Hey guys, it's Kim here with Fairily Fiber Fun. Thanks for joining me on episode 35. So last month I came to you with a hand injury, and as you can see, there is no compression glove today. I am completely healed from that injury. In fact, I healed very, very quickly. I did a bunch of hand exercises. I went on YouTube and I looked up exercises for different types of tendonitis in the hands, and then I compiled the exercises that did the most good for me, and I did those multiple times a day, and then to start off with, and then I backed off on those exercises while I was knitting a little here, a little there. I tried out square cubics needles, and I didn't find that they helped me any better or worse. It was no different from other needles. It was interesting to try them. So yeah, I'm really, really happy that my hand is all better. I will still be very careful, and when I start feeling pain, I will stop, as is recommended. The problem is that I went through almost a month of no knitting, and then I did a ton of knitting in one day, about 5 or 6 hours of knitting, and that's what did it. And I ignored the pain and just pushed through because I just wanted to keep knitting. So don't do that. Don't be dumb like I was. We had last month, I had shown you what I was spinning, which was the Neptune Fiber Club, and I have an update on that for you today. And then I will discuss more on the Fiber Club from last month, as well as we will talk briefly about what my plans had been for November versus what I actually did. We're going to discuss festivals, and we will end with plans for the end of the year. So I hope you enjoy today's video. And before we get into it, I would like to give a very warm welcome to new viewers and a welcome back to returning viewers. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss new videos as they come out. And as always, leave your comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. I thought October was really hectic and difficult, and it was nothing compared to November. Oh my gosh, I did 4 events in 2 months. And a lot of people can handle that just fine, but for me, with Thanksgiving in there as well, oh, it was rough. It was a lot. I hit total and complete burnout in like the second week of November, and I had to push through because we still had Fiber Club. We still had 2 events coming up, and a Thanksgiving dinner to cook and my kids to enjoy, and I had to make a couple of tutorials, which I ended up just using the pumpkin demo that I had filmed as the tutorial for the pumpkin felting kits. But I did film a snowman felting tutorial for those kits. So that is one of the videos that came out in November. Other than that, I only had two full-length videos come out. The other one was the Spooktober sunrise, where I dyed up a sunrise that I had seen one day when I took the kids to school, took a picture of it, and took that inspiration and dyed up a braid of Corriedale. Actually, 2 braids of Corriedale. And it turned out so beautiful, but I think I want to card them up. So we will see if those change at some point. It's a little compressed, but not bad. So that's all I got done as far as editing and uploading. Now, I did the November spin, which is this right here. And my Thanksgiving special video is still sitting in the editor as I speak right now, and it will come out after this video, so you'll be seeing it soon. But I dyed up November palette of the month, and on Tunis roving, this is 5 ounces of roving, and I spun up one of them. I dyed 2 different braids, and I spun this one, and I love it so much. It turned out perfect. The palette of the month photo is some leaves on the ground, fall leaves, and this has way more yellow and orange in it than in the photo. The photo was more red, But I really, really like this, so I'm happy with it. So that's the one spin I did start to finish in November. Somehow I managed to fit that in with everything else going on. So yeah, be on the lookout for that video to come out next. And then I did finish spinning the Neptune singles and wound them onto, because I had spun it all on one bobbin, so I wound them onto storage bobbins. These are weaving bobbins. I'm going to make a 3-ply so I don't have to fight with all these, let me put this over here, so I don't have to fight with all of these singles being different quantities, all these little bobbins. I'm going to 3-ply, and when I run out of one, I will put this one in, and then we'll go from there. So it will end up being okay for a sock yarn. Not what I was going for, but it'll be okay. And I lost my little, these are the bars that go in here, and I don't know where 2 of them went, so knitting needles to the rescue. We do what we gotta do here. So that's the other spinning progress. And then while I was vending at the art festival here in town this past weekend, I demo spun my very last frozen bat, which I took out of the shop a while ago. And this is all I have left to spin. And that's what's on the bobbin. So I had 3 bats with me to spin, and I didn't even finish the first one, and they're only an ounce. But had a lot of fun, and I will go into more detail on that in a little while. A couple of other updates to share with you first. I'm not going to show you my blanket. I have knit a ton on it. I finished, the width is now 14 squares wide. I was doing 6 square deep rows, so I would just do 6 squares and then just start at the bottom and work 6 squares up, and kept doing that until I had 14 squares by 6. It is now, I'm now on the 7th, 8th row that are 14 squares now. So it started with 6 rows. I did the 7th row, 14 squares, and now I'm halfway through the 8th row. So I've done a lot. I've done a whole lot. Since my hand healed up, I have knit so much on that blanket, and while I didn't want to do anything else in November, I was knitting. As much as I could possibly knit, I was knitting. So glad my hand healed up. So glad. So working through burnout was not easy, but I did manage to do about half of what was on my agenda. I sacrificed filming and editing to be able to do other stuff because I was really stressed and overwhelmed. And I had planned to make a bunch of ornaments. If you watched episode 34, at the end I was telling you what I had planned to do for November, and I had mentioned a couple of different ornaments. I didn't get a single ornament made. I got halfway through a gnome, felting a gnome, and never finished it. I never finished all of the snowmen I had made arms for, so I got these little sticks made of wool and pipe cleaners. And then, but I did manage to film the felting tutorial, which is fantastic. And I edited that and I got it up on YouTube. So I'm like, yes, that was the most important thing. I wrote up instructions for the pumpkin felting kits and then decided to just add the QR code for that demo video to the labels, just so that everybody can have a video link to watch while they're making their item. Fiber Club, let's see. Jupiter was a huge success. So Calypso Creations is one of the members of the Fiber Club, and she got hers. She was really happy with the color. She's the one in the video. And I am really loving how the dogs are so into the fiber. Like, they just keep sticking their nose into it. Definitely puppy approved. And that just, the best part of the whole unboxing is
the puppies going crazy over all the wool. I love that. He's so cute. And they did a fantastic job with this unboxing. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. Although the camera did get turned sideways, so kind of awkward here. But look at that detail they captured with the Jupiter bat. Why does it always look better when somebody else is videoing?
So the dogs got bored while the package was being opened. You can see I have the photo protected by both the breed study paper and the story. And I forgot to tell you, the little tiny bit of wool that was pulled out of the small orange bag was the breed sample. So Jupiter was BFL, and I gave a sample of undyed BFL. This is the adventure story that I thoroughly enjoyed writing, but Mars was even more fun. And then the breed study here about a little bit of facts about the blue-faced Leicester sheep. The next time she came over, she said, I want the rest of the Jupiter bats. I want to make a sweater out of it. Okay. So I took it all out of the shop. That means I don't get to spin Jupiter. So I don't have to worry about, am I going to card it again? It's fine. It's going to be spun up by somebody else. So I'm not sad. I'm not upset. I'm perfectly happy to have all the Jupiter bats going out. There's no leftovers, you know. I still have 2 of the Neptune. I think 2 Neptune. I have 3 Mars, and I will have 3 Saturn so far. I haven't started working on Saturn yet. I've just started the research. So, but I had so much fun with Mars. Oh my gosh. Okay, for Mars, I had the insane idea to take raw fleece and turn it into final bats. Yeah, that was way too much work. I did it though. I absolutely did it. I scoured the wool, picked the wool, dyed it, carded it a million more times, and blended the final version of the bats with all the add-ins and stuff, wrote the story, wrote the breed study. Mars is my favorite planet, and I can't tell you exactly what about Mars I love so much, but it brings back memories of watching the night skies with my grandmother, and she pointed out the red star in the sky, and it just fondness, you know, absolute fondness. When I was researching, I didn't get anywhere with it, and I was like, how am I going to write this story? I started the introduction, which is why I like Mars. And then I texted a friend of mine and I was like, just throw me some random facts you know about Mars off the top of your head. And she did. And I went, thank you. I got the story. So we went on this little adventure, you know, had a lot of fun when exploring. Thought we were going to meet some extraterrestrials. Turns out it was just nature. Nature doing her thing, you know. So I really enjoyed writing this story, and now I have to go back to a gas giant because Saturn is a gas giant, and I'm kind of sad. But we will explore one of the moons, so that's okay. So yeah, here I'm going to put a picture of the Mars bats because it's so pretty. I love how it turned out. I ended up, you know, Mars has an ice on the South Pole, so I put white in the center of the bat to represent the ice. And let me tell you, it took a lot to get the colors exactly right. I dyed up solid colors, and then I carded them individually twice. I ran them through the baby brother carder twice. So I carded each bat, each mini bat 2 times, and then I started the blending. And I blended the colors up in different levels of reds and oranges. And then I had to take that and add my add-in fibers to it to make the final bats. The problem with this is that I was assuming I would get over 3 ounces in a bat, and I did not. I got like 2.5 ounces because Tunis is so fluffy. I couldn't get more than that on the drum carder. So like it was really hard to do it. And with all the add-ins, I wasn't sure just how much Tunis I could pack on the carder. So I ended up limiting myself just a little bit, but that also helped me get the full 8 bats that I was trying to make for this particular, the fiber club. I'm trying to make 8 bats of each particular fiber each month. And I really didn't have enough wool for that. But with all the extra work I went into, I thought, you know what? It's going to be okay. It's going to be just fine. I'm really undercharging for this club anyway, so who cares? It'll be fun. And it was absolutely fine. So I don't have an unboxing video from Calypso Creations yet for Mars. I'm sure she'll send it to me because they're coming over later this month. So I should get a video of the unboxing from her that maybe I can put into the next episode. We'll see. Anyway, next we're on to festivals. So I did have the 2 festivals in October. The Relay for Life was an absolute nightmare. I sold nothing. I sold 1 set of jar balls. Not worth mentioning, really. It was fun because my mom was with me and all that. So I had in my head that the art festival here in town at the Veterans of Foreign Wars Auxiliary, VFW, I really thought it wasn't going to be successful. Boy, was I wrong. Oh my gosh, was I wrong. But let's start with WAFA because that sale happened first. So I named my sale Frosty in Wafa-Land. Thank you, Sam of Calypso. She came up with the name. Or was it Jessie? Calypso Creations is run by Samantha and Jessie. They're a mother-daughter team, and they're awesome. They're the sweetest ladies. Okay. So the Wafa sale was amazing, but I have one issue with it. It has nothing to do with the sale. It has everything to do with my level of burnout. Usually when the Wafa sale's over with, I go ahead and I go, okay, I go through the comments and I figure out who bought what, and I start messaging people immediately within an hour or two. Then I get my after sale album up right away, and then I start sending invoices by the next morning, either that night or the next morning. I did not do that. It took me 3 days to get the invoices out, and it took me another 3 days to get, after everybody paid, it took me another 3 days to get the packages together and out the door. I'm not normally like that, but I just could not get my act together. I was so exhausted and I didn't want to deal with anything else. I was done. Thanksgiving was wonderful. My oldest son lives with his dad and he came over and spent the day with us. I cooked this humongous meal and I enjoyed the cooking more than I did the eating of it, which is hilarious. I've never enjoyed cooking that much. I enjoy cooking for people who like the food, but cooking for the sake of cooking is not something I've ever really enjoyed. But I enjoyed this Thanksgiving so much. So now I'm planning on Christmas dinner, which I've never done because Thanksgiving is the big dinner. But anyway, that has nothing to do with this episode. Just threw that in there for free. You're welcome. So I enjoyed Thanksgiving, and then on Black Friday was my Wafa sale. And I was supposed to take stuff to my mom's a couple of days before and set up, and I was not ready until the last second. So I got to my mom's at like 8:15 in the morning. I set up, and then I had to wait for an hour and a half because my sale was at 10:30. And I was done. No, I had to wait an hour. I was done by 9:30. So at least I had everything together. I'm still not done carding the Jupiter bats. I have to finish those, especially since they will be purchased next month. so be paid for then. I'm holding them for Calypso Creations, who wanted all of them, and she will get them, you know, I'll get those carded up. And then I still have a couple of the Mars bats. Thankfully, I carded 5 and I sold 5. So I have 3 more to card, and I still have to work on Saturn. So there's a lot that I have to do. And then I've sat down and made a ton of plans for next year that I want to get started on, but I got to finish Fiber Club first. So maybe now I can get started on that and just really focus in and finish all the things I wasn't able to finish in the month of November and October that I had tried to get to. So I do appreciate everybody who participated in the WAFA sale, and all my customers have been so incredibly patient and wonderful and understanding. And I'm waiting on one lady to pay her invoice. She asked for some extra time, and I was like, absolutely, I have nothing else going on. And I have extra inventory. If I need it for someone else, it's absolutely fine. So I'm good with that. I will work with people if they communicate with me. So, you know, it's all good. And the feedback from the community is that this lady is going to pay at some point when she's ready to. So I don't have anything to worry about. But anyway, now on to the art festival. So the VFW had their first annual art festival, and I've been excited about it. I've been looking forward to it since I found out in August that it was happening. And as I got closer and closer to the day, I started getting more and more overwhelmed, more and more feeling like I don't want to. It's not going to be successful. It's going to be an absolute fail. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to be bored. And I kept telling myself, no, Kim, you really love interacting with people. You love going to these events. You love demo spinning. You love the interactions. You love making friends. Like, just do it. Just do it, you know? So I pushed through and I did it, and I'm so glad I did. Oh, I had the most fun. I made friends with a fellow vendor. She was right across from me. And the face painter was directly across from me. And then the other vendor, she's called Evil Twin Clay Company. Love her name so much. I will put I'll put her name in here. But anyway, check her out. She's the cutest little earrings and stuff. I got a pair of earrings. She got a sheep. I got a pair of earrings. We traded. I also got a coffee cup from another vendor. She got a sheep. It's all good, right? She either got a sheep or a kit. I don't remember. But I sold a ton of felted sheep, a couple of kits. I think I sold 1 or 2 kits. And a pair of baby socks. And that's it. But I sold so many sheep. Everybody loved the sheep. So I am now low on stock for felted sheep, so I'm going to have to replenish, but that's going to happen another time because I am so not wanting to worry about that right now. A customer that came through told me about a new thing in town that I had not known about. It's kind of on the outskirts, almost out of the county, almost. So it's way out, but 15 minutes from me is not that far. It's called the Schoolhouse Market. So somebody purchased this old school and converted it into a local vendor's market. And I want to go check it out. I'm scared to death to check it out. I don't know why. So when my friends Calypso Creations come to visit this month, we're all going to go together and check it out because they're having an event the same day. So we're going to go over there and check out their little holiday market going on and see if I want to become a vendor there. It's not bad. The price is good. So we'll see. We'll see. No promises, no commitments. I have enough on my plate right now. Oh, and the best thing about the art festival, we were about to start packing up. It was raining. It was miserable. It was dead in there. Like nobody we had an influx of people coming in the morning, and then lunch hit and it went dead. And it was a trickle after that, barely. So we were supposed to close up at 5. We closed up at 3. The whole festival. But right before I started packing up, this little family came in, and the lady said that she came straight to my table. She said she wasn't going to come to the festival until she saw a picture of my table, my booth. And she was like, I'm going. She purchased a drop spindle and a braid of fiber. And I taught her a little lesson on how to spin. And she texted me the next morning with a picture of what she has done already and said she is absolutely hooked. So I will be going to her house to give her a little lesson on plying and finishing her yarn so that she can continue to travel down this wonderful fibery goodness rabbit hole. And I really look forward to teaching her more and watching her excitement. This is something she's wanted to do for years and years and years. And it's such a blessing to be able to give her the confidence she needed to get started on this journey. And it's just beautiful to see people's dreams come true. It's amazing. I love it. I love it so much. That's, I really struggled Sunday, the day after the festival. I was exhausted because I had not slept much. I was down and depressed for who knows what reason. Probably because I was so tired. I didn't feel good. And then I got that text and I was like, oh, it's such a gorgeous day. I love it. So I was happy. Oh, man. So that was, it was a wonderful day. And my boys were very helpful. They went with me and they helped with the setup. They did all loading the car back up for me. I didn't have to carry anything to the car. And then the next day they unloaded the car for me and put everything away. So I had very little to do. They were wonderful. They said, we will work, Mama, for food. So they got hot chocolate and they got snacks and they got 2 meals for lunch because it wasn't much food. And, teenage boys eat a lot. So I eat a lot too, but I only ate 1.5 things. Anyway, they were quite happy. They had their electronics, they had their chargers, and they ended up hanging out underneath my tables. I couldn't find my kid. I looked around, where's my child? He was under the table, behind the tablecloth, hiding while he was on his tablet, just happily under the table. I don't know why, but that's where he was. I have crazy kids, you know that? They seem to enjoy themselves for the most part. And they're the ones that ran around and got me food and themselves food. Just handed them money and said, go get food. I got them the hot chocolate and the cookies. I handed them money and said, go get yourself cookies. So it was a lot of fun. And I'm very, very grateful to have had my boys with me because my mom was supposed to go and she was sick, so she didn't go. So my boys were great. And I had to run back to the house like 3 different times because, the first time I took everything, we set up, we came back and ate breakfast, and then we took what I needed to build a shelf on the table because I had forgotten that initially. So we took that, and I left my phone, and I had the wrong charger. So I had to go back to the house. Anyway, 3 trips was what it took to get completely set up. I live like a 1/4 mile, if that, from the VFW, so it was all good. It was not a big deal. And it was a lot of fun. But I think I've talked about it enough, and I've said it was a lot of fun like a gazillion times, because it really was. And now I can't wait for next year's art festival. And if the VFW does any more events where I get to be a vendor, I'm doing it. It was so much fun. All right. I had plans. We make the best plans. I was so burned out. I'm like, I'm taking December and January off so I can film classes, so I can do this, so I can do that. Yeah, it's not. It's going to be even more busy, I think, than if I was doing a waffle sale. I'm taking the month of January off from Wool and Fiber Arts Festival because I need 2 months to get caught up on stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. It's just Fiber Club. It's this month and next month. So that's the only commitment I have, and that's how it's going to be. So I have some spinning classes that I really want to get filmed and I haven't had a chance to. I've got a commission weaving project that has just been waiting for months. I got it in September and I haven't started it yet because I haven't been able to. First, the loom was at my aunt's house and then it was at my mom's house and I never had a chance to work on it. And then the loom got over here and then I needed some parts for it. I finally got what I needed. I needed a sectional warp tensioner because I'm going to sectional warp the loom. And then I went ahead and splurged on a bobbin winder. So I no longer have to use my spinning wheel and break the end of my bobbins because they don't quite fit. So the bobbin winder works fantastically. I've already used it. It's really good. I was happy to get it. My spinning wheel works better, but at least this way I don't have to take the spinning wheel, the flyer and the bobbin off in order to, anyway, it's no biggie. I have a fancy little tool I didn't really need. It's Christmas, right? I mean, I earned it. I worked hard. So I have videos in the editor that I have not gotten to that need to be finished. And I just realized my lights look like mountains. I did not know it was going to look like that when I put the safety pins on the wall behind me. Anyway, I don't mind. Just some lights to be pretty. Sorry, random brain here, squirrel. So I have a video. Let me back up. Years ago when I got the baby brother drum carder, I filmed carding classes. Years ago, it was probably 3 years ago. So I filmed a bunch of carding classes. I was going to film a few more. I had a couple more planned and then I kind of got derailed and never finished. And they're all up on YouTube, but I didn't do the next one, So I've been putting them up on Ko-fi every month for supporters, and for all supporters, all monthly supporters. And I put up the last one the other day. But then when I was carding up the Mars Club, it was 100% Tunis, so it's fleece. And I thought, this would be a great addition to the classes, is to have a color blending of fleece. So that's currently in the editor. It will go up on Ko-fi next month or after Christmas, something like that, by the end of the year. Let's just say that by the end of the year, it should be up on Ko-fi. I have to film the intro and then do the editing. So it's going to be a little different setup because it's a few years later and I no longer have the same space and background that I had in the original one. And I no longer have the same editing, music, and everything. So things have updated, things have changed. It's be a little different, but it'll be a bonus to the carding fleece class series that is up on Ko-fi. The other classes that I'm filming are going to be sold in the Shopify store, and you will get a link to the playlist on YouTube, and that's the only way you'll have access to those classes. So I don't know when those are going to be done, but it's something I'm hoping to get done by February, hopefully, so I can start, so people can start participating in those classes and start making money, My sock pattern that I released had 2 people purchase, and it was the coolest thing to have that pop up in my notifications of, oh, you made a sale. And I looked at it and went, oh, I don't have to do anything. That was nice. So the link automatically got sent, the PDF file, and I was like, that's it. That's all I had to do. I didn't have to do anything. So I want that to happen with the classes as well. So less work for me, and more work to set up, but less work overall. I still have other classes that are more laid back that will be going up on Ko-fi periodically as I get them filmed and edited. I have a new series I'm working on just for Ko-fi. So if you're not a member of Ko-fi, go check it out. It's linked down below, and would love to have you join in there. I am also putting the Fiber Club stories up on, I think, the highest tier. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember exactly which tier at this point. I have a list of what I'm doing on what tier somewhere. I don't know where I put it. So, every tier is a little different. Just pick what suits you. The higher tiers have access to everything in the lower tiers. So, yeah. And the other day, on top of all those classes I want to film, the other day I sat down while I was totally burned out and couldn't do anything, and I made a list of everything I wanted to do for the Fiber Festival in Sautee in May. And then last night, when I was about to drift off to sleep, I sat down. I just suddenly popped awake and started making monthly task lists. What I need to do in December, what I need to do in January, what I need to do in February, and that's where I stopped. I was like, that's enough. 3 months is enough. All the videos I want to film, all the Fiber Club stuff I need to do, not purchasing new fibers for my inventory, new stock, until January. So I have to wait on Fiber Festival prep, but I still have fibers left over from way back when I ordered from Ashland Bay, which is no longer a business. So I can use that. So that's what I'll be working on with December and January. And then I suddenly went, oh my gosh, I have nothing for the next Wafa sale. Like, I have run out of stuff. It's a good problem to have, but now I have to dye up a whole bunch of new stuff. And that's hard to do when you're low on stock. So I may have to resort to working with fleeces, or I figured I would make some more magic potion bats, stuff like that. So, these 2 months off are not going to be slow. I'm going to be so busy. But I'm excited and I'm ready for the next step in my business, and I'm delighted, absolutely delighted to have you guys be a part of this passion and focus and everything. I've spent the last few years trying to figure out my business. I now have a set logo that was custom made for me. You can see it kind of. There we go, on my shirt. This one actually changes color. If the light hits it just right, it turns into like a rainbow shimmer. It's really cool. And now I finally have set the colors for my business. And it is black, silver, and white. So I'm happy that I finally have actual colors, a color theme. I have my logo, and I have a good feeling of how to set up for every event now, because this past weekend was amazing and I had so much fun, and I'm happy with the setup. I need to buy a couple of new tables so that I have space for the setup that I'm wanting to do. I need bigger tables. So yeah, lots of stuff going on, and I don't know if I will get another episode filmed before February. I'm hoping to get a blanket update out to you by the end of this month, because I want to kind of wrap up the year and how much I was able to do on my blanket from the 5th of August until the end of the year. And then maybe in January I can give you a full, this is what I have planned for 2024, and this is what I did in 2023, sort of wrap up the year and go into the new year. I don't know. If you want to hear about what I had planned for 2023 versus what happened that month, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to hear plans for 2024 that may or may not happen, please let me know, because if no one's interested, I'm not going to do it. You know, why put effort into something that no one's going to enjoy? But if you want to see it, I'll put out the extra effort and do it, and I will be happy to do it. All right, I think this was a significantly shorter episode than last time. A little less going on, a little less B-roll to share, and it was a slower, productivity-wise, a slower month because of the burnout. But I am back. I am better. I'm amazing. Feeling amazing. With that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoy the rest of the year, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Bye, guys.